Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Nadia Dessouki. Nadia Dessouki is a results-oriented professional with a career focused on building high-growth sales organizations. Currently serving as Chief Sales Officer at Relanto, she leads the delivery of cutting-edge solutions in the digital transformation space, specializing in data, AI, planning, and hyper-automation. As former Vice President of Sales at Milestone Technologies and Standaff Corporation, Nadia successfully created technical staffing global service offerings from scratch. Her journey began at Advantis Global, where she rose from a technical recruiter to spearhead their highest producing national office. Driving growth through strategic partnerships, Nadia has secured master service agreements with prominent technology leaders. Her dynamic approach involves working cross-functionally and wearing multiple hats while influencing outcomes through diplomacy. Well, good afternoon, Nadia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. This is so fun. And before we hit record, Nadia, I told you that I spent some time with one of your colleagues there at Relanto, and it's been a pleasure kind of coming full circle in that area, folks that we've had on the podcast before. So thank you again for jumping on this evening.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time. Excited about today's call.
You bet. And I'm probably more excited just because I live for this stuff. So thank you. Nadia, we're going to just jump into your story here. You've got quite the career in sales, marketing. You're a sales manager. You were a senior executive. Now you're the chief sales officer at Relanto. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, especially in sales, sales can be a very painful career path with the amount of competition, the rejection. And I think you fundamentally have to love the hunt in order to do well in this space. And for me, that's what's been keeping me going. I love the hunt. I love meeting new people, especially in technology, just learning about all these new technologies, the cutting edge of what's coming out has been really such a fulfilling experience for me.
That's awesome. Thank you. And you're right. There's a particular breed of people that can go into sales and do well, and you're one of those. So I appreciate you sharing your insights on that. Nadia, your company touts its ability to easily transform enterprises with AI-enabled integrated planning, forecasting, and digital innovation. There's a mouthful there, but that's awesome. What makes Relanto stand out above your competition?
I think for Relanto, we're very big on a human-centric design approach. I think all of what we do from a technology standpoint is building solutions that really lead with the end user in mind. Instead of building something, engineering something, and then selling it, we want to understand who's going to be using this. Like what is the feel? What is the touch? What is the look? What's the experience? And I think that's something that's so critical. Of course, the technology is on the back end. Of course, we've got the experts to help build these solutions. But I think for us, we're really focused on a human-centric design and leaning with empathy. I think that's what's helped us land some of the biggest names in technology.
Thank you. And you did sum that up pretty well. And like I said, there's so many buzzwords around AI-enabled, whether it's integrated planning, forecast, and digital innovation, but we see it all the time. And I get hit up every day on these services. Hey, Brian, we'd like to sell this to you. And I totally understand the competitive piece of this, as you mentioned earlier. So thank you for breaking that down. Nadia, we are a technology platform, publication, podcast, and we always ask our guests, you're obviously leveraging some of that new and emerging tech in your business. Is there anything you might be able to share with our audience tonight?
Yeah, I would say one of the best parts of my job is that I manage a lot of our partnership or technology partnerships. And so we have a handful of partnerships with various different platforms that kind of align to our different practices. So when you mentioned earlier that we do work on the planning space, on the AI side, and the digital transformation arena, we've got all of these platform partners that we work with to kind of help enable our customers. Because we're a services company, we're not necessarily building any specific IP or product. We like to leverage what's out there. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. And so we've been really fortunate. I've been really fortunate to learn about some of these. And especially now, as AI is becoming so much more prevalent, learning really about some of these different AI platforms and how they can really just accelerate different businesses. And so one of which that we're working with, it's called Rainbird Technologies. It's a neurosymbolic AI platform that's really designed for highly audit-driven environments where complex, repeated decisions are being made. And what's nice is it provides kind of trust, a lot of trust that you don't necessarily get with other AI because it provides reasoning as to how it derived to a certain judgment. And so that one I would say has been really fun to partner with and learn more about how it can really help optimize a lot of different business processes.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that example. And I love this stuff. I just eat it up all day and what gets me out of bed in the morning. But really, we appreciate you sharing that. We've got a lot of technologists across our global audience that just loves these little nuggets. So thank you again.
Absolutely.
Nadia, can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those listening this evening, looking to grow their career in either sales or leadership?
Yeah, I would say, in my opinion, what's really helped my career is kind of a combination of things. I think there's nothing that is more important than consistency and work ethic, especially in sales. I think it's really a numbers game. And at the end of the day, it's the more calls you make, the more opportunities you get, the more revenue that comes from it. And so it's at the end of the day, it's really a numbers game. Of course, there's a lot of different nuances that are involved, but I think that sheer consistency and work ethic and that discipline is so critical in sales. And I also believe that emotional intelligence is so fundamental right now, especially from a sales environment. Just being able to navigate, especially in technology sales, there's so many different types of individuals that are involved in a technology sales transaction that being able to navigate different personalities and personas within a company is very critical. At least I found that to be very critical. And there's all these things that I think that people can work on. I think, and I like to use my husband as an example. I think he comes from a very technical background, and his EQ this is something that he works on a lot. He does a lot of different trainings and stuff. And I think it's immensely improved. I think there are ways to work on all of this as well.
Thank you. That is important. And EQ is a lot of times, especially in this day and age, is many times way more important than IQ. And we talk about that a lot on the podcast as well. But I appreciate you sharing about what it takes, the grit, the consistency, the perseverance in sales. I can tell you it's hats off to you. So thank you, Nadia.
No, appreciate it. Thank you. And hopefully this helps.
Absolutely does. And Nadia, it was a pleasure having you on today. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Yes, likewise. Thank you so much.
Bye for now.